Welcome to the control system lecture series. In this lecture, we will learn the concept of Nyquist plot, why we draw the Nyquist plot and how we draw the Nyquist plot and its application. So, as we know that any system stability depends upon the roots of characteristic equation. If the roots are lying in the left half of the S plane, means system is considered to be stable. So, here the Nyquist stability criteria relates the location of the root locus roots of the characteristic equation with the open loop frequency response, and this criteria is basically depend upon the based on the principle of argument. So, as we very much know that any transfer function, whether is a open loop or closed loop, that can be represented as a ratio of the numerator denominator to the numerator to the denominator polynomial. Here open loop transfer function means GSHS has been expressed like this: the gain factor multiplied by the numerator polynomial means zeros and divided by the denominator polynomial. Definitely the numerator polynomial order must be less than or equal to the denominator polynomial. So, if this is the expression of the GS, then adding this expression means to get 1 plus GS, that is a characteristic equation of the closed loop, that we can represent like this. So, that is again you can see 1 plus k s plus z1 dash into s plus z2 dash up to the zm divided by s plus p1, s plus p2 up to the pn, and after simplification we got that it is a ratio 1 plus GSHS is a ratio of numerator polynomial to the denominator, means zeros to the poles. So, here what is common, that whether it is a open loop transfer function or closed loop system. So, the poles of the system is not going to change, while the zeros gets changed. So, while if we put this 1 plus GSHS equal to 0, so this becomes the roots of the characteristic equation. So, as you can see, the poles of 1 plus GS is identical to the GSHS, zeros of 1 plus GSHS are identical to the roots of characteristic equation. So, this is the thing. So, what we can conclude, if a closed loop system to be stable means zeros of 1 plus GHHS must lie in the left half of the S plane, because you can see that these are the roots of the characteristic equation. So, that is why it is very important to note here that for a closed loop system to be stable, the zeros of 1 plus GHHS must lie in the left half of the S plane, not the pole of 1 plus GHHS. This is the common mistake anybody does. So, it is important to note that the zeros of 1 plus GHHS must lie in the left half of the S plane. Now, so here you can see that even some of open loop pole lie in the right half of the plane. After converting into 1 plus GHHS, all the zeros of the 1 plus GHHS may lie in the left half of the S plane, means the system that was earlier unstable, open loop system that was unstable, now may become the stable system. So, now in Nyquist stability criteria, and as earlier said that it is based on the principle of argument in the complex variable. So, that is simply 1 plus Gs Hs equal to Qs or S plus Z1 divided by S plus P1. So, here if a contour has been drawn in the S plane and this is a sigma, real axis, this is imaginary axis, and the contour is drawn like this. It is moved in the clockwise direction. This is contour 1. So, that is, and in this path, in the right of this path, there are two routes that is covered by the contour, means 1 0 and 1 pole. So, that will subtend angle say S plus Z1, here angle that will be subtended by S plus angle S plus P1. So, if it moves a 1 clockwise direction, so 1 0 will move a angle of minus 2 pi, while pole will also a subtend angle of minus 2 pi. So, net angle you can see here, that will be angle subtended by this will be minus 2 pi, while angle subtended by pole is minus 2 pi. So, as we know that since this pole is in denominator, so making it to in the numerator, that means net angle of the given transfer function Qs will be the angle subtended by zeros minus angle subtended by pole. So, this is a subtended minus 2 pi, minus of minus 2 pi means this becomes plus. So, net angle subtended by this contour 1 is 0. So, this is the one point. Another contour here you can see in this path there is a only one roots lie in the right of this path, other root is out of this path. So, while traveling in a clockwise direction like this, so what would happen? Net angle subtended will be only contributed by this pole, not by this 0. So, what would be the net angle contributed by the transfer function in this case? That will be, since this 0 is not contributing any angle, not any angle. So, what would be the net angle? 0 minus of minus 2 pi, since pole is contributing minus 2 pi. So, that angle is of 2 pi. So, in general we can have a number of roots. So, whatever the roots lie right of this path between these section, so that roots only be contributing the angle while for a clockwise direction, moving the clockwise direction. So, in general what we can conclude, if we make one clockwise traversal of a contour, it may seem that the net angle contributed by z number of zeros multiplied by minus 2 pi minus of number of poles into minus 2 pi. So, net angle contributed will be number of poles minus number of 0 multiplied by 2 pi. So, this is the net angle. Now, this map can be a function of qs, means sigma plus j omega in the real q and imaginary q plane. So, here in this case what would real q, here this is on the x axis, imaginary q on the y axis here this way, and this is the contour that travels like this and moving like this. What happened, and moving like this and connecting like this. So, what is net angle? So, this point is being travels, this means origin twice. So, net angle contributed in this case will be 2. So, number of net angle contributed will be minus 4 pi. So, traversing q once in the clockwise gives the change in angle of minus 4 pi, since origin is encircled twice in the negative direction. So, p minus z equal to 2. So, net angle will be 4 pi. So, here that will be minus 4 pi. So, in this case it is encircled twice. So, that is making the angle contribution of minus 2 pi. So, now coming to the principle of argument. So, here you can see that enclosure of poles and zeros that we have seen while drawing the qs in the qs plane, by s plane contour and encirclement of the origin by qs contour is commonly known as a principle of argument. So, as we have seen that we have encircled the origin. So, in that case it has encircled twice. So, net angle contribution was minus 2 pi. So, based on this, here you can see that was based on the principal argument. So, enclosure of poles and zeros of qs by s plane contour and encirclement of origin by qs plane contour is commonly known as the principle of argument. So, here similar to this, qs is a ratio of polynomial in S having p number of poles and z number of poles, and if that point is encircled multiple, so that we have to account for. So, here in this case, since we have a plane contour for GSHS, and from the open loop transfer function to the closed loop means 1 plus GHHS. So, for getting 1 plus GHHS, we have to add in that case 1 plus GHHS. So, what happens? So, origin of the system shifted from the means this is the origin for the qs plane, and for 1 plus gs when we add, so this point shifts to this. So, for 1 plus GHHS this point becomes the critical point, since this is a gs and adding 1. So, this will become 1 plus GHS. So, this is the contour. So, what would happen? In this case, in place of this origin, this point becomes the critical point. So, this is a principle of argument for the closed loop system. So, here what you can see, effect of adding plus 1 to each point of GHHS to obtain QS plane is accompanied by simply adding 1 to the scale of real axis. So, in that case you can see origin of map Q, contour Q. The now for convenience we designate -1 plus J0 point of GSHS plane as a critical point. So, here because 1 plus GSHS means characteristic equation decides. So, here if that point is added, so even with the help of GSHS map we can get the information about the system stability that we will see with the help of the example. So, here the encirclement of origin by contour Q is but again equivalent to the encircle of critical point -1 plus J0 because it has shifted by the contour GH. So, again the Z minus P that we have obtained earlier. So, equal to n. So, in this case Z is number of zeros of 1 plus GS enclosed by S plane contour. P is a number of poles of 1 plus GS enclosed by S plane contour. N is number of clockwise zeros of 1 plus GHHS encirclement of critical point 1 -1 plus J0. So, again you have to remember clockwise zeros of 1 plus GHHS, not the pole of 1 plus GHHS. This is the point that we have to remember. So, here in this example you can see GH plane, this is the real axis, this is the imaginary axis, a contour is drawn like this. So, say it starts from this point. So, moving like this. So, and reaching at this place, say so start from this. So, the one circle. Now, one time it has moved in the clockwise direction now and moving like this. So, in this case you can see the direction of contour movement has changed from clockwise to the anti-clockwise. So, and that will be completing the point, this meets this point. So, contour is now complete. So, what happens once in a clockwise direction, second time in the anti-clockwise direction. So, net will be 0. So, number of encirclement will be 0, means there is a no encirclement here. So, that means number of zeros equal to number of poles. So, this is the case. Now, what happened in this case? This is the case, contour starts from this point moving like this, means in a clockwise direction, then like this. Now, it is also a clockwise direction, moving like a clockwise direction, and next will be like this. So, what happens? It has moved this critical point, means encircled thrice in the clockwise direction. So, n is positive, means n is positive, means 0, number of 0 is greater than number of pole. Z is greater than number of means angle subtended by zeros is greater than poles. So, here in this case what happens? Contour moves like this in a clockwise direction, it is also a clockwise direction like this. But what happens, even though it has moved a clockwise direction, but in a GHS plane it has not encircled the critical point -1 plus j0, means encirclement is 0. So, number of 0 is equal to number of pole. While in this case what happens? It is a moving in a anti-clockwise direction. It is a moving anti-clockwise direction. Sorry, the moving like this. Twice in the anti-clockwise direction. So, here this will be -2. So, net encirclement is twice, but what happens? Pole is greater than 0. So, this is the principal argument when we can find the how this critical point encirclement takes place. Now, very important part is a Nyquist contour. So, if S plane contour is taken to be the one that encloses the entire right half of the S plane or entire left half. Then normally we take a entire right half of the S plane. Such a contour is called the Nyquist contour. What is a Nyquist contour? If any contour that encloses the right half of the S plane, that contour will be called the Nyquist contour. And directed towards the clockwise direction comprises of infinite line segments C1 along the j omega axis and arc C2 of infinite radius. So, here you can see that in this diagram C1 is infinite from minus infinity to plus j infinity. This is the length, and arc C2 have a infinite, r tends to infinity, means that covers the entire right half of the S plane. Here the angle is from this arc covers starts from angle plus 90 to this 0 plus 90 degree to 0 degree to minus 90 degree and moves like this. So, this is the Nyquist contour, that is the point here. Such a contour that encloses entire right half of the S plane is called the Nyquist contour. So, here the arc C1 means section C1, segment C1 have an infinite line and along the j omega axis means imaginary axis, and arc C2 is infinite radius. So, this is the Nyquist contour. Now, what happens if it is covering the infinite line segment along the j omega axis, means minus j infinity to plus j infinity, and C2 segment C2 means that has to cover the entire right half of the S plane, means radius means r should tends to infinity and theta varies from plus 90 degree through 0 to minus 90 degree. That I have shown, I will again show, I will again be showing. So, this is the two things. Another thing may happen, any point or any pole that may lie on the imaginary axis at the origin means S equal to 0. In that case, S equal to rho e की power j phi, where rho tends to 0 because it is lying at the origin. In that case, the phi will vary from minus 90 degree to 0 to plus 90 degree. So, here you can see this is the section C1, this is section C2. For this case, if any point lies on this origin, what would happen? Means this rho should tend to 0 because it is lying at this point. Now since it is moving like this, and from this point there will be detour, and that will be from this is the point where the angle is minus 90 degree. This is the point, angle is minus 90 degree, that will move to the 0 degree, and at this point this is the plus 90 degree. So, this is the case if any point or pole lies at the origin. So, there will be detour, and this is the contour that will be covering the point or pole at the origin. So, if Nyquist contour once specified, stability of the closed loop system can be determined by plotting GS locus when S takes on its value. So, here the behavior of GSHS plot with respect to critical point minus 1 plus j0, that is a critical point, that is important because adding to this 1 plus gs, that will be giving the characteristic equation, and the zeros of this characteristic equation should not lie in the right half of the S plane. So, this plot corresponds to the Nyquist contour, and that is called the Nyquist plot of GSHS. So, here again that is very simple like earlier. N is a number of clockwise encirclement of critical point minus 1 plus j0 made by GSHS. P is a number of poles of GSHS, and therefore 1 plus GSHS encloses the Nyquist contour. So, Z is a number of zeros enclosed by the Nyquist contour. So, Z minus P equal to N, or Z equal to N plus P. So, for a closed loop system that requires Z to be 0, there should not be any encirclement of 0 because that is the roots of the characteristic equation. So, this condition is met if N equal to minus P. In special case, P may be 0 and system closed loop system is stable even if N equal to 0. So, now Nyquist criteria, what is? So, what happens similar to that? S plane encircles the critical point minus 1 plus j0 in clockwise direction as many as times the number of right half S planes pole of GSHS, that is closed loop system, is stable. So, counterclockwise direction. So, here means counterclock means anti-clockwise direction. So, commonly occurring, so GSHS with no poles in the right half of the S plane, closed loop system is stable, and if the Nyquist plot of GSHS does not encircle the minus 1 plus j0, then system is stable. So, there is a similarity. If GSHS with no pole in the right half of the S-plane, then stable, and in a Nyquist plot, if GSHS does not encircle -1 plus J0, that is critical point, the system is stable. So, this is the way we can draw the Nyquist plot, and important is that why we learn the Nyquist contour, because this is the base of the development of the Nyquist plot, and the base is that if any point, any normal contour that encircles a one clockwise direction movement, and in that case we can find the encirclement and net angle contribution. Then based on the principle of argument, because again encirclement is important, so in that case origin in place of origin, because for the GSHS plane to from open loop to closed loop means 1 plus GSHS is added, means now origin has shifted, for the means critical point has shifted from 0 to -1 plus J0. So, that is the important point, -1 plus J0, and that defines the about the system stability. So, whether the system will be stable or unstable, that will be decided by the critical point. So, this way we can see with the help of example why Nyquist plot is drawn. So, one can answer at this moment, because after plotting the Nyquist plot, we are in a position to tell about the system stability, whether it is a stable, unstable or marginally stable. So, this is important, why we draw the Nyquist plot, to know the stability of the system. So, we have earlier there are two methods that we have learned. One is by root locus, another one is the by the Bode plot. So, this is the third method, means in a frequency domain Nyquist plot. So, this way, thank you very much, and learn it, see it properly. Thank you.